Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Zoom lecture. My name is Dr. Langat, Langat. I will be your instructor this semester. I see some folks are still joining the conference. I have a total of 125 students, and so far we are 91 in the conference right now. I don't know if some folks are still on their way. I will leave the chat window as well as the room visible on my end so that I can let them in as we go along. Uh, some of you may have read a little bit about my biography, but I just want to just introduce myself one more time. All right. This is typical in face-to-face setup in the sense that usually the first lecture we go around introducing ourselves, maybe just telling us your name and your major, but since everything is done via remote instruction, we will not have that opportunity to introduce ourselves. So what I will do is there is an intro exercise which you'll have to, it's kind of like a discussion which you'll use that. So for now, I'll just maybe talk a little bit about myself. Maybe you read on the pile on canvas, or probably maybe you heard from your friends. I'm originally from Africa, Kenya. Came over to US close to about 21 years now. And initially, I didn't even know that I can't buy the name US exists until when I cleared my high school back in Kenya. When my friend got a truck scholarship to run for Washington State, and then I decided that this is something I could also do, or run, train, just apply for colleges in the United States. So I came to US on track scholarship. To cut the long story short, I ran for Bethune-Cookman College. My specialty was uh, mid-distance to cross country. All right, I ran mid-distance cross country, 10,000 long distance for 3.5 years. It took me 3.5 years to graduate because I was taking a lot of classes. I was taking summer courses just like you, so that I could graduate on time. That is 2002, precisely April 22nd is when I walked up the stage between Cookman College. Beginning fall 2002 is when I started my PhD program at Howard University in Washington, D.C. This is in the heart of D.C. For 4 to 5 years, I was doing my PhD in analytical chemistry, focusing on nanomaterials. Okay, my graduate program was funded by Air Force at that time, and I believe they still want to, material which can withstand high temperature. We do not have soft moisture out there, and that's what I used to do research on that, building materials from the molecular level, taking this molecule and putting them together and analyzing that, oh, this is stronger than this one, right? That's what I used to do for 4.5 years. And thereafter, I worked a little bit all right, I worked a little bit at National Institute of Standard and Technology in Gaithersburg, Maryland as postdoc, and I was looking for a job. I was looking for a job across the country, and I got a job at College of Central Florida in 2008. It was 1 year non-renewable contract at College of Central Florida in Ocala. Somebody who was teaching took sabbatical leave, and they needed somebody to fill in for just temporary 1 year non-renewable. At that time, I was still searching. Lucky enough, there was an opening at FSCJ. Some of you may, you know where FSCJ, you may have taken courses at FSCJ. I taught at FSCJ for 10 years. From 2009, not exactly 10 years, from 2009 to 2018. I was at FSCJ South Campus, our neighbor here. I taught at Nassau Center, Kent Campus, and at North Campus. Beginning 2018, I started working here at UNF, all right? And here I teach labs, mainly labs, General Chemistry 1, General Chemistry 2, Introduction to Chemistry Lab, and Quantitative Analysis Lab. And summertime, I teach also the lecture part, all right? The lecture part. All right, somebody has a question here. Let me see, Mohammed, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Somebody say,
yes, we can.
yeah, I guess maybe somebody was asking different questions. So thank you. I see a thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate it. See, some folks are still joining in here. So that is a little bit about myself. We will interact. This is my second semester teaching the course here at UNF, but prior to that, I taught for several years this course, including the lecture at FSCJ and College of Central Florida. The course is combined with the lab, but here we have the lecture and we have the lab separate. So you have to be careful on your program because some program may require that you should take KM1 with the lab, all right? So if you only take this course without taking the lab, they might log you out saying that you still need to retake this course with the lab. I've seen in the past student coming back and say, I'm retaking again because I took this course, but it didn't have the lab component. That is a little bit about myself. For your case, there is, all right, there is, they introduce your self-assignment, which you have to respond to at least 2 of your colleagues. It is worth 10 points and counts towards your final grade. So beginning today, please complete that assignment of introducing yourself. There I do have the instruction. Once I get to the Canvas course here, I'll show you where that assignment is. With that, there is a teaching assistant assigned to this course, and he's here with us this morning. I want to give him 3 minutes also to introduce himself. TA, teaching assistant, you know, we are just diverse. We are spread across the country. Some of you are out of state and you cannot come on Canvas for assistance. I mean, for tutoring, which are available if it was typical face-to-face. You could come to the library, you could go to tutoring session, but since we are here, we are doing things remotely. There will be also a TA assigned to this course, and I believe he will share his schedule so that in case you need help with the homework assignment, you will know his schedule. Stressa, are you here with us? I believe you are here. Please unmute yourself and just introduce yourself.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Langet. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Nick Strasser and I'm going to be your SI leader for this semester. A little bit about me, I am currently a third-year biomedical student here at UNF, and this is going to be my third semester as an SI leader and my second semester SIing for General Chemistry 1, so I really enjoy this class. If any of you are new to UNF or maybe aren't familiar with SI, basically, SI is a free program where we hold regularly scheduled review sessions about 3 times a week to cover the material that you guys have been learning in class. So when you come to these sessions, we'll complete lots of different types of activities, ranging from practice problems to review outlines, even doing some games occasionally to keep things fun and exciting. But anything we do in SI is basically designed to help reinforce the material that you guys are learning in class. With that, I also want to explain what SI is not. SI is not a replacement for lecture. So you cannot just decide, oh, I'm going to skip class and just go to SI instead. SI is meant to be supplemental. So if you ever want to come to an SI session, always make sure that you're coming to class and you've already reviewed the material before the session starts. And in addition, SI won't ever introduce anything new that we have not learned in class at that point. In addition, I also want to mention that SI is meant for everybody. So depending, no matter where you're on the spectrum, from totally confident about this class to absolutely terrified about chemistry and everything it has to do with it, always recommend coming to SI. In fact, students who regularly come to and participate in SI sessions typically learn half to a full letter grade better than students who don't come to SI. And so it's free, highly recommend it, very, very useful tool. And that's really everything there is for me. You guys will probably see on your Canvas at this point that we have our own designated SI Canvas page, and that is how you will communicate and interact with me. I will be sending announcements on our sessions, what you need to know for the sessions, or any additional information for SI will all be through there. At any point, you can always send me a message through Canvas, email me. I'll drop my email in the chat really quickly, but that is completely open. You guys are free to contact me with any questions. The only thing I ask you guys to do right now is be on the lookout for an availability survey. It takes just like 1 or 2 minutes to fill out, and it's basically just says, what times would you be able to come to SI? And we'll do that this week, and next week we should have a consistent schedule for the rest of the semester. And that's really everything to know right now about SI. I see somebody asked, is SI required? No, SI is completely voluntary. Obviously, we highly recommend you come whenever you can because, like we said, we have the data. It is very, very impactful for students, but it is completely voluntary, completely free, and you can come stop by at any point in the semester. There's no specific continuity. Really, you can come at any point you like. But like I said, that's it for me. Be on the lookout for an availability survey. And thank you so much, Dr. Lange. I will pass it back to you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. As you clarified, SI is not required, but I believe you'll have high traffic, especially when the exam is around the corner and people will need, some kind of like review session, especially in going through some of technical terms, some of the problem solving session. So I anticipate a lot of students will turn in, and I hope the schedule will be consistent so that everybody will know what time they will show up, and they will know that somebody will be in there. I see somebody, Jenna, asking everybody that if anyone is interested in joining the study group, that is great. I always recommend study group as well because of when you, even if you are familiar, even if you are well-rounded, you have a solid foundation in chemistry, when you explain to somebody else is when you really commit to your memory the concept. And I've seen in the past, students just showing up in study group, and I help them face-to-face set up. Maybe they meet in the library, they say, all right, we checked out this room, can you come and help us in the session? You go on the whiteboard and go through. So that's way to go. Hopefully more people will join your group, Jenna, and we will all be successful at the end of the semester. So please take note of that link Jenna shared. So that's a little bit about the intro. As I said, we don't have enough time to keep each one of us to say his or our name. All right, it's an app. Thank you, Jenna. It's an app, so somebody has to have either a smartphone or any mobile device, get from App Store or Google Play Store, something like that, to get the app. What I want to do now is share my screen and walk you through the course Canvas shell and where things are. I'm just going to share my screen here and try to uh, show you the where things are in terms of the shell. This is what you will see. Right now, let me just change the setup here to, I'm going to change the setup to student view because you don't see it. So this is what you see when you click on the Canvas culture. When you enter in there, all the announcement. Nick mentioned about the announcement. He has the privilege to post announcements. So please sync your UNF email. It's what we'll be communicating. Synchronize your email so that when we post announcement, you will receive on real time. So announcements so far, I do have, I think, two of them about the ISPN number and the lockdown browser. Lockdown browser, this is the program which freezes your screen. You're gonna need that when you'll be taking the quiz and taking the exam, all right? Lockdown browser, some of you are familiar with it. Lockdown browser, you will need to download that before the fast quiz. uh, um, One student, I forgot the name, contacted me, I think last week regarding the ISPN number, and I shared last year ISPN number, but it did change that the ISPN number ISPN number for the course, all right, this semester changed. So I had to upload what I got from the bookstore. If you go to bookstore, this is the ISPN number, which you can key in this number on UNF website and it will direct you on how to get the access code, all right? This is an e-text. It's not an actual textbook. It is an e-text that you will get the electronic. I'll get the 1-800 number for Pearson so that in case you're paying out of your pocket, you'll just call them. I don't know if it's gonna be subsidized or if it's gonna be the same price as UNF bookstore. All right. So this is the required e-text. You need this text. You will need this e-text because it comes with a code which will enable you to do the homework assignment on MyLab and mastering. Without this code, you will not be in a position to do the homework assignment. So all you have to do is get the code by purchasing through UNF bookstore. Some of you may be using financial aid, so you have no option but to go through the UNF bookstore. And I think it's available for rental. I'm not quite sure how the rental costs. You can contact the bookstore for more information. This is Brown and LeMay 14th edition. Other than that, I will be posting supplemental material on Canvas. It could be YouTube link, which I believe it is great in explaining some of the concept as we go along. You will need, somebody contacted me this morning about, access code, saying that we need access code. I believe once you have that access code, you will not need the other code to get to MyLab and mastering. Even though you don't have the access code right now, I will recommend that you sign up using temporary access code to sign up, right? In case, all right, while you make arrangement to get the code, you can create an account, all right, and start working on the homework assignment so that by the time you purchase your code, you'll have made significant progress in completing the homework assignment, completing homework assignment. So please let me know if you encounter any problem. Email me if you have any issues with this. I'll contact the company again this afternoon. Make sure that everything is working properly. I believe it's working because so far, all right, so far I do have two students who have attended introduction to mastering. You know, introduction to mastering helps you or introduce you on how the system works as far as the program and assignment. I have Humphreys Cutting and Lauren. Thank you. I saw you have attempted the first assignment. So I hope by end of the day, some of you will have even just sign up. Okay, make sure you have access to my lab and mastering. This is where the homework assignment will be posted. Due dates and availability will also be there. You cannot see it right now, but I do have all of them. Lockdown browser, you need a lockdown browser to take the quiz. Right now, you cannot see the quizzes. So this is where you will come to take the quiz, to take the exam, even though here is labeled as quizzes, all right? Exam will also be posted here. This is how the canvas has been built. I don't have the ability to create another tab for exam. Only I do have for my lab and mastering and quizzes. Quizzes. Grades, please keep track of your grades by using the grades tab, all right? And let me know before it's too late if something is missing. We will work on that. Other than that, you know how to join the Zoom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10:50 to 12:30. Is there any questions so far? Let me just exit the screen and see if any question is on the chat window. The access code you have to buy the, all right, you have to buy the e code or the e-text using the ISBN number. Suarez Ayala, you'll get the access code by purchasing the e-text. It comes bundled with the code. Once you buy the e-text, you'll have the code, all right? You'll have access code. So just to clarify that. Yes, somebody, Tara Foster, thank you. You click on my mastering and it took you there. Thank you, Suarez. I hope that answered your question and everybody else. So it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to go to, you know, outside the canvas to do the homework assignment. I know some courses, or maybe you took a course where mastering was different from the course. I just want one-stop shop. Click on canvas and everything is there. It's just gonna link there. Even the grades on mastering will be automatically deployed on your gradebook on canvas.
I
That's
had a quick question. So about the mastering, so I did purchase it through Canvas, and it comes up as your course, like your name, but the CRN number is 524112, but it still says chemistry and qualitative analysis. But I know our CRN number is 52212, I think. Is that your course? Like the
hey,
one?
right now it's saying what? It's saying 5.
Yeah, on the mastering that I purchased through Canvas, it says it's your class, but it says CRN 52412.
Oh, I'll check and make sure that it's everything is working for mastering. Maybe it has to do with the company, but I'll fix that. That's my other course, but it shouldn't. It should be 20. It should be. It shouldn't be qualitative, but it's chem one. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. I just Yeah, there you have all like the assignments up already, right? 'Cause I see
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay,
It's the
I
same
got.
thing.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Tara, thank you. Any other question?
Yeah, that's a good quick question.
Yes.
So I'm having a problem with my labs. I believe it was called from Pearson.
Yes.
I did a similar link and purchased the access code like 10 minutes prior to doing your class because of another class.
Yes.
And whenever I click on your link, it tells me that I'm already registered, but it then doesn't show me in the class, which is why I think I need the class access or not the class ID so I can manually register myself in the class because the
Okay,
link isn't.
I'll check. Email me and I'll check the class ID. I'll send it to you and let's see if it will let you access the assignment. All right.
Thank you, Professor.
Send me and I'll send you the ID. I do have the ID. And also maybe I will just, put it on an announcement for whoever who is not here also may encounter the same problem that this is the ID. And I'll double check, make sure that, it will take you to, or you'll be able to enroll. Any other question? With that, let me just shift gears to the course syllabi. I will just shift gears to course syllabi real quick. I will walk you through how you will be created, where things are, where points are, because that is why we are here to do well and understand where the grades will come from. All right. Um, this is the course. All right, this is the course syllabi. All right, we'll be meeting every Tuesday, Thursday from 10:15 to 12:30, my office hours. Not necessarily this posted here. You can email me and say, hey, are you available to, at this particular time? Because sometimes, these hours may not really fit your schedule. You may be having other lectures and you may not be in a position. I will be able to assist you outside the posted hours here, especially with what is going on. Everything has been destabilized to some extent. Every facet of our lives with the pandemic is not normal, and we are trying to get back to normal. So take note of these hours. Email me, all right? I was thinking of, getting a Google phone number so that, if you call my office, because this is the office and sometimes I may work home, I'll work in such a way that when you call this number, it will just forward to my Google phone number in case you need assistance for that. Last day, all right, last day of our class meeting will be on Thursday, all right, Thursday, July the 30th, when we'll do our final exam, so pay in mind on those days. I'm not going to read everything. I want you during your own free time, read this. What I want to go through is how you will be graded. All right, how you will be graded. This is the weighted averages for, or the point value for the overall grade for the course. There is a Canvas syllabus check, which means, I expect you to read the document entirely. If you have any question, please, if you have any concern, please let me know. This is 2 points, all right, towards your final grade. So there are 5 dynamic study modules. These are in MyLab and Mastering Dynamic study modules. It's just range for some of the concepts. It's different from the MyLab and Mastering. This is what 8 points. Out of the 10 assignment you will do in, all right, MyLab and Mastering, 9 only will count towards the final grade. So I'll drop the lowest. Typically, the assignment will be due or this will be available throughout the semester. The 5 study dynamic module will be available throughout the semester. This right here, all assignment will be due 1 week upon completing a chapter. Say if I'm done with chapter 1, you will have 1 week to do the assignment. But if you can study, you understand the material, you can go ahead and just complete. You don't want to wait until the last minute, so that you try to complete everything in one shot. Is not going to work. It will be overwhelming on your end. There'll be a couple of quizzes after every chapter. We will take a quiz. They will be worth 25 points of the overall grade. 3 midterms, all right, 30 points, and final comprehensive exam, 20 points. Now, the midterm exam, and I believe also the quizzes, I'll give you the study guide that you need to know this, you need to know this, which of course, especially for the quizzes, if I've gone through the chapter and you don't expect that, okay, you need to know this. If you read, understand, all right, everything will be easy. For midterms, I'll also give you the study guide, which will be built on the quizzes, the concept covered in the quizzes, and the lecture as well will be covered on that. The final grade will be average on that. And now the letter grade assignments, all right, letter grade assignments will be based on this. This is the letter grade assignment that 91 to 100 is A minus 87 to 90, 84 to 86, all the way to D. There's a grade of incomplete if you say you have a B in class and for some reason you do not end up completing the course or you fail to take the final exam, we'll have to work on incomplete. I know we still have, we are still in the middle of pandemic and something can come up. If you go on isolation or whatever, I don't anticipate any one of us or any one of your loved ones test positive. Please bring to my attention, not necessarily that, even other situations such as, internet outage in your neighborhood and you are not in a position to join Zoom, you are not in a position to take the exam, please let me know so that I'll just right away know that you have a situation and we can work on that. So with that, that's how the letter grade will be assigned based on those sections, assignments, dynamic study modules, all right, Canvas, check quizzes, midterms, all right, there are about 3 midterms. If you have any question, please let me know before it's too late. Other than that, I may not be in a position to fix whatever the issue may be if it is too late. For example, the grade has been posted. It is 2 weeks after the semester is ended and you're just saying, oh, there was something wrong with my grade. It will not work like that. Don't wait until it is too late. Other than that, please, I do not give, all right, I do not give extra credit, all right, unless you have, all right, unless you have instructor valid reason, I do not give extension for homework assignment or even give makeup quiz. We'll not be using the Honolog, but we'll be using the lockdown browser. I'll take away this Honolog, but we will be using the lockdown browser. As I said earlier on, you need to download that. It's a program which freezes your screen while taking the quiz. I just want to fast forward to the tentative, tentative chapter schedule, how we will be covering. Hopefully we will finish chapter 2, or I mean chapter 1 next this coming Thursday. All right, hopefully we'll get that today, syllabi chapter 1 and so forth. This is what we will be doing. Now, in the event that I will not be done with, let's say, chapter 3 and chapter 4 by the time we get to midterm, I will not test you on the, all right, I will not test you on the material I will not have covered at that time. So if I will have covered until section 3.2, and then exam 1, midterm 1 will cover only from section or chapter 1 to section 3.2 to give you an idea of how these midterms will be given. So I'm not going to give you or test you on chapter 4 and say, hey, you cannot start on your own. You have to use the SAS tutoring session to study chapter 4 now. All what will be covered in all the midterm exam will have been covered in the lecture. You will have seen the material in the quizzes and assignments as well. All right. So the 3 midterms, exam midterm number 1, tentatively chapter 1 through 3, midterm 2, chapter 4 and to 6, midterm 3, chapter 7 to 9, and final exam 1 through 10, 1 through 10. Other than that, is there any question? Let me just exit my sharing and then I'll be able to see the chat window. I don't see while I'm sharing my screen. Somebody is asking, it is cheaper through MyLab and Mastery. Yes, Trinity, yeah, I agree. I've seen that before. Even in Top Hat, for those who are familiar, when you buy direct from the company, it might be cheaper. But as I said, some of us, we are using financial aid and we have no choice. We have to go through the bookstore. Somebody is asking about the date is wrong. I'll fix that. Thank you. I guess it is. Let me see. I guess the date, I may have put the wrong date. I'll just check that. If you look at my screen, let's see. We will fix that if it is wrong. If you look at July, it should be 29th. Yes, it should be 29. Our last meeting is on this day, July the 29th. So if anything, we will fix it as we go along. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Abikal Lewis, thank you. It should be the July 29th. Let's see. Yes, midterm is usually during the normal class time. So if it is Thursday, and then it's gonna be Thursday. If it is Tuesday, then it's gonna be Tuesday. And I don't want to, I know you may have taken courses where you have until midnight. It's just like face-to-face. Take these classes face-to-face. Unless maybe it is a take-home exam, if it was face-to-face, then you'll have to show up. You'll have to take the exam. It's got to be proctored, all right? And I know it's confusing in the sense that you think that this is an online. No, it's not an online. It's not, this course is not an online. It is not hybrid as well. It is remote instruction. So I will administer as if it is face-to-face. Thank you.
Someone in the chat asked how our attendance is graded.
Attendance?
Yeah.
Yes, attendance, I'll just go, if you log on the Zoom, the system captures. If I know you attended, I can even tell how long you stayed on the Zoom conference. If you leave, and then, I'll see that. Lauren, you have a question? Not yet. I'll take care of that. The 2-point quiz will be available. Yes, and then you are on top of the game. Lauren is saying that you completed the fast dynamic study module. That's there is no grade shown in there. I'll check and see if it has to do with the due date. I'll take that into account. All right, thank you. It's the same thing. It's just gonna show up on that. Quizzes will be on lockdown, not analog. Quizzes will be on lockdown. It will be on lockdown. Yes, Nicholas, it's just completion, which is kind of like starting it, walk you through. Yeah, it is for studying, as it says, dynamic study. You are studying out of it and you get points out of it. So it's just for studying. Nick, yeah, dynamic study modules are usually the completion. You have to complete those. It will take you through. So if I want the perfect score in dynamic study, I'll spend more time doing them. So if you do spend 5 minutes, you may get a low grade. Versus if you stay, for 2 hours, and then it will walk you through a perfect score. Any other question?
I have a question real
Yeah.
fast. I think this happened to me in a previous math class like last semester, but Pearson likes to give me trouble. But when I go to your course on Canvas and then I hit my lab and mastering and then I hit the link, the little thing that you click on that says open my lab and mastering, it doesn't do anything. I don't know if that's just me. I've tried it on my computer and my phone. So
It
yeah.
happened to you last semester as well?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, all right. So in that case, what I want to do is email me and I will intervene on your behalf to the company, call the sales rep and say, hey, I have a situation here, what is going on? And then I'll get back with you what is going on. If it has to do with the setup, but it shouldn't be, it shouldn't give you any problem, because if I do have students who have just signed up, then it might be just your own account which is giving you problem, because if it was like across the board, then everybody could not be in a position to log in.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me an email and then your name and I'll call the sales rep myself.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right. Oh yeah, somebody's saying that Chrome, yes, you have raised a good question, Carolina Gonzalez. That is a good question in the sense that not question, but you have raised a valid point in the sense that I've seen. All right, I have seen I've seen a situation where either you have not, for those who have the Mac computers, sometimes they are very let's say you don't even update the operating system on the Mac, it will not open anything. Even on Canvas, it will want to update even the operating system, Safari. So you may want to try a different browser, either Mozilla, all right, or update the operating system on your laptop. If you have a Mac, all right, please let me know. And if you have any issue, I had last semester, believe it or not, last semester student could not do the quizzes, could not do anything on Canvas, could not see the lecture. So we went one-on-one on Zoom like this, and then I was able to upgrade the operating system on the Mac, and the student was able to see everything. So please try that. All right, Nick. Yes, somebody is asking if you miss or if you foresee a situation where you cannot attend lecture session, please let me know. I received a couple of emails this morning to that effect that, somebody was just added this morning they were on the waiting list and they didn't make arrangement on calling up and say, all right, just let me know.
Will you be uploading the Zoom recording so we can go back and
Yes,
look?
upload on, I'll create a module for the lectures themselves so that you can go back and rewatch them again.
One question, Professor. So you're saying the quizzes will only pop up on Lockdown browser. I've never used Lockdown browser, so I'm not familiar with it.
No, you'll have to download. There will be instruction. I think it was on the announcement. Let me see if I'm sure, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, let me just exit here for a minute, and then I'll make that available. You see the lockdown process here. Can you see? Are you able to see the lockdown browser? I'll make it available for you. Right now, you cannot, I'll make a link where you can download the lockdown browser, which means when I set up a quiz, you click the quiz, it will ask you for lockdown browser if you don't have.
Oh, okay. That was my question. So it's like if I go in Canvas right now, I don't see any quizzes. If I
Yeah, you
click,
don't see because I don't
okay,
have a quiz. But once I make a quiz and then you click that quiz, it will just ask you if you don't have a lockdown process. You need a lockdown browser, and then it will take you on how to download that.
gotcha. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Any other question? Let me just make sure.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a specific schedule for quizzes? Like, is it going to be every week or you just?
I don't have a particular schedule because of how we progress with the lecture. Is if I make a schedule and say we will have to have quiz number 1 next week, I want to give a quiz based on the chapter. Like we are done with chapter 1, quiz number 1. We are done with chapter 2, quiz number 2, and based on the progress, maybe it will take longer to complete a chapter before we take a quiz.
Okay, and is there how long would the quizzes be open for when you do upload them?
It will be if it is depending on the number of questions. If it is more of calculation, it will take long, but it will be in class. Maybe the first 30 minutes, depending on how many questions I do have in there. Or if it is available until midnight, I'll give you also that opportunity that you need to complete. There will be instruction for every quiz. If I send till 11:59 p.m., I'll give you that. If it is in class, we'll do it in class.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yes, the quiz will be taken at a particular time and date. It will be specified. Just like I said, I will give you the quizzes will be based on the completion of a chapter. We are done with chapter 1, we take quiz number 1. We are done with chapter 2, we take a quiz for that. The dynamic study module should be in MyLab and Mastering. I'll check on that. If you cannot see, please let me know. But I believe you should be able, if you are able to log in, if your account is set up properly and you don't have any issue with your account, you should be able to see, because somebody has taken, even though their grade didn't show up, it should be in MyLab and Mastering as well. I'll touch base with the company Pearson, make sure that there are no glitches. Please send me an email and then I'll follow up with individual account, because they'll be able to see and troubleshoot what is going on with some question. Yes, somebody is sharing the study group. Thank you. Yeah, somebody's saying, yeah, thank you for bringing up to our attention, Caroline, that it is on the home course page. Dynamic.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
How many hours do you think you'd expect a student to spend each week on this course?
Typically I'll recommend that, if you say each week, right? depending on at least, all right, at least 6 hours. You know, it is relative also based on how rounded you are. Different people, they have different, but at most 2 hours a day, which will give you a minimum of 10 weeks, depend on how rusty your chemistry is. You know, some people took chemistry, intro to chemistry last semester. Some people may have taken, you know, like retaking the course again, maybe because of something else they had to drop the course and they know. But here is somebody who has never taken any chemistry course since high school. You know, that means you have to put in more effort. But I'll recommend that every day. All right, please don't wait until the last minute. Chemistry, it involves some calculation, and calculation or math, you cannot study math, you practice, right? So in a
Correct.
similar way, at least 10 hours a day, 2 hours a week will be sufficient enough to give you solid foundation to do well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, 2 to 3 hours, Humphrey, that is, so 2 to 3 hours times 7 is 14, but I was just giving you weekend off, which gives you 10 hours, right? But I say it is relative. Some people are well-rounded. Some people, they can read one time and then they get it. Some folks, they just come to lecture, they get everything, they don't take notes, you know, and they ace the exam. So know yourself and know your ability. All right, thank you. No, you are not. Lewis, don't say that. No, just we are all here to work together. All right. You're not missing anything. What's the question, Lewis? Lewis, what's your question? Just unmute yourself, please, if you have any question. Yes, you have a Mac. I can tell you have a Mac, Jordan. You say you cannot access mastering through Safari, but I was able to on Chrome. All right. Thank you for sharing that. So you may try, some folks, you may try to use Chrome. Somebody using either Mac or iPad, mobile device.
I was literally just gonna say, I went on Chrome and it worked just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I figured it out. It's so stupid. And yes, I have a Mac. I don't know why it likes to, you know, give problems.
Yeah, even me, it is, you know, sometimes I end up in a situation like that. Yeah, so I'm still learning.
And I also have another question. So I had you last semester, and I know after we would have like the Zoom, you would like open the quizzes. Is it going to be like that for this, or like how you said, just when we finish the chapter that we have to take the quiz?
Yes, when we finish the chapter is when I will open the, you know, I'll open the quiz and give you an, you know, time to finish up the.
Okay.
Could be maybe until midnight of the same day.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Any other question? The crates will, if you are signed up to the course, the crates will be automatically deployed onto your Canvas crate, but it will not go on to another instructor course. So the numbering might be different, but it's the same thing. Like somebody asked me for the registration code. The code they have on Pearson website for my course is different from the CRN number. So it will not be the same. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. The numbering system on, you know, on CRN is different. I'll check that and fix that. Make sure that if we want to consistency to give that, I'll go to Pearson and change so that it's the same as the Canvas one, so that you know that you are in the right course.
Professor, how many questions might we expect to see on each midterm, and how many questions on the final?
All right, that's a good question. Typically midterm exams, I look at them, an average, I've seen 40 questions or less based on if it involve calculation, how long it takes, you know. If it is, for example, finding the area, length, diameter, width, I'm just giving you an example. It's easy, it's one, you know, and you're done. But if it is quadratic equation, you know it's longer than that. So I'll factor in that if it involves a lot of calculation, and then it will be less time, because for every calculation in the ACS exam, you need maybe 3 minutes. So I'll reduce based on, but typically it has been 40 questions. If there are some conceptual question, definition, key terms, and I do have conceptual more than, you know, the calculation. Maybe out of 40, 10 of them are calculation. So 40, and then final is typically 60 questions or so. If we have 10 chapters, chapter 1 through, then maybe 10 question, or 5. So I'll let you know, but not less than 50. So if we have in midterms 40, and then final will be 60.
And Professor, how long will you give us? Let's say for a midterm, which is like around 40 questions.
Okay. Probably it will last the entire lecture because of the time factor. Maybe some people will not finish early, and we may not really have time again to come back. So we'll see that it's at most 1 hour, all right, depending on the number of questions. It could be 1 hour, and then we continue with the lecture so that we get done with the material. Or if we have, or if the exam is longer, and then we will use the entire, you know, the entire lecture session for the exam, so that we do not rush through the material and then we don't do well.
Just one more. Any multiple choice? Like,
yeah, all of them will be multiple choice.
Oh, okay, I got you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Professor, I have
Konini, yes, somebody raised a hand. Konini, is that you? Thank you.
Yes, that's me. So in regards to the other guy that just asked, since it is multiple choice, is it going to be through Canvas, or is it going to be like pen and paper?
No, it will be through Canvas. It will be through Canvas, and not multiple choice. Some of them multiple choice. Some of them will be true and false, which is also multiple choice, and some will be descriptive, like, you know, what is matter, and then you have to type in your what.
Okay, like a free response.
Yeah, but no paper and pencil. But paper and pencil, of course, you'll have to have a scratch paper, and if it is, what is the density of this given this, and then you plug it in the equation, and then, you know, use the calculator, and we move on like that.
And that's true for your midterms, your finals, and also your quizzes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You can lower your hand now, Konini. I know you know how to lower it. Thank you. Otherwise, there is also a SI, which is support instruction. I think that is what you meant. Thank you. I don't know what you mean by my own question, but yes, it's gonna be based on the text, you know, but I don't really understand what you mean by my own questions, but it will be based on the material covered in the lecture. Jordan, I hope that answers your question. It will be based on the material covered in the lecture. Thank you. So if you study, and I'll give you the study guide as well to give you what you need to read. Some of them I write myself. So some of them will be based on the data bank, which comes with the text. All right, and to give you an idea so that you know what we are getting into because of where we are, I do have test points. It might not be exact question or numbers, but randomly the system will pick question which might be different from student A to student B. What do I mean by that? If I have a pool of questions on significant figures, I may have 30 questions on significant figures, 30 multiple choice questions on significant figures, and I'll tell the system, can you pick 2 questions from this pool, 2 questions from this pool? They are all on significant figures. If you know, significant figures is the same rules, right? Or concept of addition. We all know the concept of addition, but I have 100 questions on addition. So each student will get questions, different questions on addition, but it's the same concept. Either you know or you don't know. If you don't know addition, you don't know addition. If you know addition, given any problem, you will answer it. So that is the nature of question, that you may be sitting next to your friend. They have a different question on density. They have a different question on density. Still, it's density equation. So if I know how to use the density, well, I know it. I may ask, what is the density of this object? And you are, another student will have a question on what is the volume of this object if you are given the density and the mass, it's still gonna revolve around the density. If the density and volume of this, what is the mass? So that is the nature of the question. So that it's not gonna be one-on-one, that, all right, trying to minimize somebody saying, can you take a screenshot and, no, you're not gonna get that way. So I will not, I've already made that to give you an idea of whether I will be making I already have those questions in there. I already have them. It's the system picking up those questions. So it's not going to be exact word by word, exact digit by digit on all the problem. That's for calculation though. But there are those definitions which it will not change. What is matter, right? We all know matter, we will define using the same words. So that's what it is. Yeah, you're asking about the question. Yes, it will help you. The notes from outside, it will help you as well. All right, it will help you in the exams as well. We will talk about that. I will not allow you to use notes. I've never used notes before. All right, somebody saying that we use lockdown process. It's different. Some instructors, they have open notes. Open notes, like, you can use any text, you can use any material, that's open notes. Just like some instructors have take-home exam if it was face-to-face. So it differs from instructor to instructor. Thank you. Any other question? Just want to make sure before we get started. All right. All right. With that, I will now shift gears to chapter 1. We get started and see how far we will go. I will share my screen here. I will be stopping sharing my screen and come back again here to see if anyone has asked. Please feel free to ask question, unmute yourself and ask. But if I stop sharing my screen, all right, let me share my screen and see where things are. As far as chapter 1, we're gonna get started. I recommend that if you can print the PowerPoint slide you see here, it will be great. This is chapter 1. This is chapter 1. I'm gonna be having my whiteboard. This is the whiteboard. Just if you have a question, show you calculation, and just leave this window open, and we will just be sharing the PowerPoint slides right here. This is the text, right? And I have my window. This the beginning chapter, matter, energy, and measurement. All right. We all know we have encountered these or defined these terms before, which you should be able. All right. Somebody is having issue with the internet connection. Please, you can just log out and come back again. I don't know. Yeah, someone in Colorado. I know. I talked to a friend in Colorado yesterday, and it is still snowing. For folks who are in Florida and elsewhere, it is snowing in Colorado right now. So please, just log out and come back and see if it's going to be stable. So coming back to chapter 1, matter, energy, and all right, and measurement. We know, all right, divine matter is anything that what we define this as matter, anything, you say anything that has volume and mass. I underline that anything that has mass and volume. Anything that has mass and volume or occupies space is defined as matter. So anything around you right now constitute what we call matter. On we will talk about the solid state, the liquid state, and the gaseous state. This the three states we will talk about as far as matter is concerned. We do have fire, but we're not going to talk about the plasma. Plasma is a different state. Energy, all right. I know you can define energy. We just define this as what energy is the ability to do what is defined as the ability to do work. We will define that. I know you know different types of energy, all right, mechanical energy, sound energy, heat energy, but the most important energy you need to know as far as chemistry, you'll see kinetic energy, the energy possessed by or moving object energy in motion. And then the stored energy, potential energy, is stored quite a lot in chemistry, the types of energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. And of course here, all right, measurement. This is where we'll talk about the significant figures, measurement. Is made up of two things, a number, all right, plus a unit attached to it, all right? So we always use two things to define a measurement. It has to have what? A number and a unit attached to it. 358 kilometers or miles. Let's say I'm just gonna use miles. If I say the distance from here to Miami is 358, is it kilometers, is it centimeters, is it millimeters, or is it miles? So we attach a unit to it. This define what a measurement is. It is a beginning chapter in Introduction to Chemistry in Chem 1, and also you will not really cover in Chem 2, but you will be required to carry forward what we will learn in the concept of measurement in Chem 1, all right? So having gone through that, those are just breaking down the three terms we will go through in chapter 1. And having said that, I know there will be a question on how do we define chemistry? Chemistry is simply the study of matter and its properties and its transformation. It is relevant to our day-to-day life, all right? We need chemistry literally in every facet of our lives. When you make coffee in your kitchen, you use chemistry. You need to know how many teaspoonful of sugar. All right. All right. How long should you place your cold water in the microwave to be hot enough for you to make coffee? How long? That is measurement of time. We talked about measurement. We're gonna take that. We will need energy to warm up or to boil the water in a microwave, or even if it's a stove, right? If you're cooking, just to give you some of the real life situation where chemistry is we're gonna talk about the central science, but how we define chemistry is the study of matter and what? And its transformation, and the energy it changes. When we talk about the changes there, I know you are familiar with the three states. We're gonna talk about the solid, the liquid, and the gas right here. I want to highlight these changes because when we say matter, solid, liquid, and gas, those are the three states. The changes being mentioned here is what you already know. This is vaporization. You know vaporization. And then coming down here is condensation. You know all these changes. There is melting right here. This is transformation. There is the freezing, you know, this transformation. And then there is the process by which solid just goes straight from what? From solid to gas right here. We call this sublimation. Sublimation is transformation, the change from solid to gas without going through the liquid state. And from what? From gas to solid, we have this time here, deposition. Deposition. You need to know these are the changes being mentioned here. You know, some of these key terms carries more than what you see just as a single term. So note this. I know you have seen this before. We're gonna come back to the changes of matter down the line. Now, the title of the book is what? The Central Sense, right? I have the 13th edition here. I have the 13th edition here. I don't know if you can see it. It is the chemistry, what? Is it? Oh, no. I didn't mean to say that. It's chemistry, the Central Science, right? Yeah, I wanted to see the Central Science right there. It's upside down. I don't know how it's gonna code that. If it's gonna code that. Oh, Central Science, never mind. So why do we call this, as I mentioned, other discipline, all right? Other discipline uses chemistry, you know, in their field. It is the central science, which means medical doctor uses chemistry. It's the central science, all right? So if I draw a diagram for that to illustrate that, we have chemistry here. All right, if we have chemistry here, and then we can have physics, we can have biology, we can have here engineering. You'll also need that. We can have here power, chemistry. All these uses chemistry. Just to give you small, just few examples where the chemistry is applied. It is used in understanding many science-related fields, technology, all right? You have heard about the Silicon Valley, right? We all know Silicon Valley, that is the hub of the technology. And they use silicon, which is one of the, you know, in case you are wondering what is the relationship between Silicon Valley and the technology. Silicon, which is the element on the periodic table, they use in conductors or semiconductors for that matter. How a question can be framed around this is, you may see in an exams a question along this line, which one of the following, subject uses or is considered as the central science? You'll be given all this, and it could be one of the multiple choices, chemistry. That's the central science. And which one of the following profession uses chemistry? And then you are given the veterinarian, the physician, the medical doctor, and stuff like that. It all revolve around the subject chemistry as the central science. Now, real quick, this is what you can just read on your own, the definition of matter. Just going back to the study of matter with divine chemistry. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. I used volume earlier on, but here is, all right, mass is the amount of space occupied by an object. I'm gonna define that later on, which is different from weight. Here are just few examples of matter. So please know the definition. It is your responsibility, by the way, moving forward, when you see bolded, all right, bolded terms in the lecture PowerPoint slides, that means it is a key term you need to understand. Don't let it get parrot. If a term is so technical, I'll recommend that you go the old school way of using index card, so that you write matter on this side and you write the definition on this side, just to give you one way of committing these terms to your memory, all right? So apart from defining matter, all right, matter can be, all right, matter can be divided into what? Into three states, and you should know the properties of solid, all right, liquid, their properties, and gas, which we'll cover in details in chapter 10. These are the three states of matter. Matter can also be divided into or according to composition. Matter can also be classified according to composition. It's not only enough that you know solid, liquid, and what? You know solid, liquid, and gas. And please read on, make notes on the properties of solid, properties of what? Liquid, and properties of gas. Compressible, non-compressible. So having said that, matter according to the composition could be either mixture here, or it can be what? Pure substances. It can be pure substances. You have to be able to produce a flowchart similar to this. This is pure substances. Depending on the composition right here. How do I know that, how will I know which one is which? Let's go to the mixtures. It could be homogeneous mixture. It can be heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture. This is mixture. I will underline the word here homo and here heterogeneous. This has to do with how many phases, all right? It is a critical thinking. Some of the terms here is not going to be like just taking it by face value. Sometimes you have to have a critical thinking. Homogeneous. That means when you mix two things, you don't see it as two of them. For example, let me give you a scenario or two scenarios. One, if I mix oil, cooking oil, and water, of course, it's common sense, it will separate. You will see it as two separate phases. If I have sand and H2O, eventually the sand will settle down and the liquid H2O will be at the top. You see two or more layers. We talk about heterogeneous. So this one has two or more what? More layers. I can say layers or more faces, not layers. a proper technical term here is more phases. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4 phases. You try to mix them, it doesn't want to stick together. Phases, all right, or before even I look at that, I can have here sand, all right, sand plus H2O. You can have that as well. Oil, all right, plus H2O to give you an example of heterogeneous. They don't mix together. This is what I was saying, the critical thinking. You will not be given a list of all heterogeneous mixtures in the world and then you memorize all of them. No, it's not going to work like that. You're just going to torture yourself. It is understanding what constitutes heterogeneous, 2 or more phases. And then you ask yourself, is this and this will form a uniform mixture? If yes, and then it will fall under homogeneous. So this will form one phase. You may have 3, you may have 4, you may have even more. For example, air in this room where I am, air where you are right now, all right, it will form, or it is an homogeneous mixture, because in air we have CO2, we have gaseous H2O, there is nitrogen, there is hydrogen, there is carbon dioxide, and so forth. But we see it as a single phase. It is only a homogeneous mixture. I can also have here maybe alcohol and H2O. It will form one phase. If you dissolve a small amount of table salt, it will form an homogeneous mixture. All right. So here is an example of homogeneous mixture, maybe salt, not sand. Salt, and it got to be small amount plus H2O, not a lot of them that it will not dissolve anymore. Heterogeneous mixture. So understand how you classify matter according to the state, that is solid, liquid, and according to composition. That is one side of the flowchart on this. And please, you see me, I'm not, I'm just reproducing. That means you got to learn how to draw or produce this diagram. Now, let me just go on the pure substances. Pure substances here, we can have what? It can be element, all right? It can be element. I don't have space here. I'm just gonna write these element like that, element, and here compounds. I'm going to erase this so that I have time, space to write elements and compounds. Now, compounds, or let's start with elements. Elements on the periodic table, we define this just as, the building block of what? Building block of matter, building block of matter. This is where we have the, all the element on the periodic table. We're just gonna come back to periodic table earlier on. You still need to. So for elements, this can be sodium, it can be hydrogen, it can be what? Anything on the periodic table, even potassium, just to give you a few examples of element on the periodic table. Compounds are 2 or more, all right? 2 or more elements can combine in a specific ratio, all right? They can have a specific ratio to form compounds. H2O, all right? H2O is a compound. Sodium chloride is a compound. You may not know, all right? You may not know the name at this time, but if you look at that, this is an element on the periodic table and form one compound, all right? We call those compounds. So based on this, all right, let's see. Somebody's asking question here. Bryce, is it possible, Bryce is asking a question here. Let me take a pause here and answer this question. Homogeneous mixture to be made heterogeneous by change of temperature and anything like that, heterogeneous. Heterogeneous to make homogeneous. Depending on a particular, yes, if you have a particular specific homogeneous mixture, yes, you can make it heterogeneous because of either the melting point. Let's say, for example, two mixtures, all right, based on their melting or freezing point. If the other one freezes, if the freezing point of one compound is 78 degrees Celsius, I'm just giving you that, and the freezing point of another one is 25, so changing temperature, of course, will freeze out the other one, and the other one will remain as liquid to give you a possible scenario where you can change the temperature to vary or change the mixture to be either homogeneous or heterogeneous. It also could be, all right, it also could be two what? It also could be two solids with different physical properties. But when you melt them, it will form liquid. And, all right, if you melt them, it will form an homogeneous mixture. And that is what even what they use in, of course, I guess when they are making alloy. Alloy is a mixture of two or metals, and if I have a pure metal here and I have a pure metal here, how will I end up with an alloy? It's by melting them to form homogeneous. So it can go both ways by changing the temperature. Hope that answers your question, Price. All right. And talking about separation, or that, any question on classification of matter fast? Price, any question? You still have a question? Price? All right, I take that as no question. Yeah, that is good, but I'm not gonna get into details in asking you technical questions such as that if I change the temperature of this to that, will it be, but there is a possibility of also doing that, as I said, that homogeneous mixture be made heterogeneous. Yeah, possible that. Now, mixtures can be separated into, and there is a, there is a lab you may do if you will be taking this course, the lecture, the lab portion of this course. Mixtures can be separated into pure substances by physical means. Can be done physical, right? Separation. And physical separation here on how you can separate mixtures to pure substances could be filtration. You can filter. You can do evaporation. What is evaporation? You know that. You know what it is. For example, if I have a table salt dissolved in H2O, I can evaporate the H2O and remain with solid sodium chloride. That is separation of homogeneous mixture into separate pure substances. I'll end up with H2O and table salt. Filtration. There is decantation. Anyone knows what decantation means? You know what it means by decantation? To decant an object? This is a C, by the way. You know what this means? Decantation is a physical way of separating.
Is it pouring?
Yes, come up again.
Oh, I was just gonna say, is it like pouring off, like whenever you have like two separated substances? I think that's like decanting.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. So assuming that this is my, I have the solid or the sun, and assuming I have H2O, I can just pour it onto a separate container without necessarily using a filter, all right? Or filter paper, you may know what filter paper is. It's just the pouring from one, leaving the solid or the residue at the bottom of the flask while you pour the supernatant. Supernatant, they use the word supernatant for whatever will be at the top. That is decantation. There is the distillation. Distillation is separation of mixtures. It could be homogeneous. If I have alcohol and H2O mixed together to form homogeneous mixture, but alcohol start boiling at 78 degrees Celsius. H2O boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So if I have the two, with the distillation apparatus, I can separate the two. The first liquid which will come up from the distillation apparatus will be my alcohol, and then of course the later one when the temperature gets to 100 is H2O. These are just few examples of physical separation of mixtures, physical separation. So there are some terms I highlighted that. And then here, pure compounds can be separated into element by chemical means. We're not going to get in details to that. For example, passing electric currents through H2O, you can separate. You can separate hydrogen from what? From oxygen in electrolysis of H2O to collect hydrogen gas and oxygen gas by chemical means. So here we use, here is chemical means. Here is chemical what? Chemical means, which is electrolysis, that is separation. So I've summarized in short here, this is what I was talking about, solid, liquid. You have to know the three states. And as Price mentioned, these states, matter can exist, nearly more matter can exist in all three states when you change the temperature. When you change the temperature from solid to liquid to gas, it's all changing the temperature. That's all, nothing else, right? So it's not only limited to H2O, even other substances can change to that. Well, I've also highlighted this classification of matter based on composition here. You can check more on homogeneous, heterogeneous, how do you differentiate, all right? What is the definition of these terms? It's not only that. It is enough to know the examples of that, but divining as well. This does not really lay out the flowchart as I do have here. Having them here might not be helpful in knowing what is an element, what is a compound, how do I differentiate that? This is an elaborate flowchart on how you classify matter based on composition. Please read in the text, be able to divide these terms, be able to cite examples so that if I give you in an exam that which one of the following is an element, which one of the following is a compound, give an example of heterogeneous mixture, you should be able to give. These are just few questions you will ask yourself in classifying matter as either homogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixture, compounds, or pure elements, pure elements. So we talked about that. How do you define substance, which is on this side? It has distinct properties and composition and does not vary from sample to sample. H2O, whether in Australia, Canada, Mexico, it's just going to be the same composition, two hydrogens and oxygen. Those are pure substances. Elements, two or more elements can combine to form compounds. Yes, we went through that. Now, the elements on the periodic table cannot be broken down further into simple, even though we have some atomic particles, but we cannot destroy those. However, compounds can be decomposed to simpler substances using chemical means. I say here chemical means, I gave you examples of physical separation for matter. Now, switching gears to atoms. It's just building block of elements. All the elements on the periodic tables are made up of atoms. And atoms is just going from Greek term atomos, which means smallest, indivisible, indestructible particle or part of matter. That's how we ended up with this term here. Atom, it came from this Greek term here. This is where it came from, atomos. This is smallest, divinest, the smallest, indivisible, indestructible part of matter. That's how what it means in Greek, the smallest, indivisible. Even though we have subatomic particles, we cannot destroy that. So they have their own unique, each element on the periodic table have their own unique what? Unique atoms. Atoms of potassium is different from atoms of what? Sodium, for example. You know, the atomic number represents the number of protons in the nucleus. We're gonna come back to that, and so forth. So each element have unique atoms. All right, just example of what constitute atoms. We'll talk about that compounds later. I won't go in details into the composition of the what is the predominant element on Earth crust, the human body, and so forth. But the most important take home here is there are about 118 elements on the periodic table. Please try to learn the periodic table because that is where we are going for the rest of the course, mainly the compounds, the element, balancing the equation. It will boil down to understanding the periodic table, naming them, as well as the chemical symbol, the first 50, or let's start with the first 30 elements on the periodic table. The chemical symbol, the atomic number, so that when I say scandium, number 21, it's number 21. Ion, Fe, number 25, and so forth. The symbol, all right? These are just few, what you need to know is how the chemical symbol as well as, the chemical name. How do we ended up with all this? Let me see what time it is. I'm gonna stop here. I don't want to steal a minute of your time. It has been a pleasure meeting you for the first time. It is now 12:30. I will see you again on what? On Thursday, same time. We're gonna start from here. Please, if I requested you to email me your concern, your issues. In case you haven't attempted anything, please also send me an email so that by Thursday we will all be on the same page. Other than that, the class is dismissed. We'll meet again next Thursday. Thank you and have a great afternoon. The class is ending now. Thank you.